Welcome, welcome. Another red-pilled coffee. Another example of women doing mask-off women things. You know the deal. Girl puts a dude on blast to the world. Guys get mad in the comments. Girl uses all that outrage to get more clout. It's a story as old as time. Now, who she isn't important. What is important is that there is a gold mine of treasure troved, polished turds of knowledge in here. And if you're willing to listen and you're willing to observe, well, then you just might be willing to learn. There's a bunch of stories to tell here. Now, first is old school, the red-pilled Jumbotron rule. Next is how you can't treat women like men, an example of solipsism. Third is the good old-fashioned laws of power, never appeal to people's mercy. Fourth, don't think that dating a fat girl will make her loyal. Fifth, the horrible place that women put themselves in. And finally, we'll save that one. You guys can pick it out for yourself, but let's get started.
I had a first date. I showered. I did my hair. I looked good. I sat in a restaurant for a half hour waiting for him, and he never showed up. He then called me 2 hours later to let me know that his dad was in the hospital. And then he called me after that to tell me that his dad wasn't actually in the hospital and that he lied. He then proceeded to leave me about 5 or 6 additional voicemails.
So the Jumbotron test is essentially a visualization of the Poon Commandments 5 and 6. If you've never heard of this, it's an old book. It's called The Commandments of Poon. And it was a whole bunch of rules that a guy had been through the dating circuit kind of came up with to help him navigate it a bit easier. In this case, the Jumbotron rule is every text, email, or recordable instance of conversation you have with a girl must follow this simple rule. If it were given a public airing, let's say on a blog, or a sports stadium Jumbotron, or a TikTok, you should feel comfortable with what you've written for the world to see. You should not feel an urge to wince because it'll be clear to everybody reading it how alpha you are. Now, if the thought of somebody other than you and your girl reading your permanently archived romantic exchanges makes you cringe with embarrassment, then you're doing something wrong. That will eventually lead to that girl dumping you.
It's been an hour and I haven't really heard from you, which I don't think is very cool. I talked to my friends and they said I should have heard something from you by now. You know, I just basically spilled my guts to you and, you know, was super honest with you, and I just don't think that it's fair that you're not calling me back if I don't hear from you in the next, 30 minutes. I'm sorry. I just don't think it's going to work out. I wanted to call and apologize. I'm super sorry. I just get really upset sometimes. You know, I just get a little upset when I feel like somebody's not being honest with me after I've been honest with them, because I was honest with you, so I was going to hope you're honest with me. So I can explain to you what type of person I am and how honest I am and just cool and calm and all that fun stuff.
So read through those guys' panic attacks. Tell me how much of that passes muster. Not much. Now, I don't know why he flaked on the date. I don't care why he flaked on the date. But if you're gonna flake, just flake. The difference between ditching a former fat girl, and we'll get to that later, and having your little life put on blast for a few million people is just owning the frame you have. Now, the thing the guy here is doing is something called deering. Defend, explain, excuse, rationalize. It came from Dr. Robert Glover, and it's something that every red-pilled man has to learn. Not understanding hypergamy, not breaking down body language, not understanding some girl brain doing girl thing for girl bangs, but learning to shut the hell up about your stupid insecurity and your stupid feelings. They don't care. But not all is lost. Because, remember, they also don't know all those stupid insecurities and the stuff about you until you tell them. So keep your mouth shut. Stop thinking women, let alone women you've just met, give two shits about being your shoulder to cry on. They don't care if you think you're a good person. Stop telling them. And I know, all the girls on social media keep telling you that they think men should be allowed to cry more. Don't believe them. They are lying to you.
Please do not put any of my information on TikTok.
I would never. That is the last thing that I would ever do. And as someone who's in radio, like, this is comedic gold. It is just, I'm gonna play it tomorrow morning on my morning show. Yeah, I'm gonna make you guys listen, because, you know, I just started there and I need people to, like, follow me. It feels like Christmas morning. I'm giddy. I'm giddy.
And so the next question is, why is she doing all this? And I know it's bad form to use a 4chan meme to explain the human condition, but God bless those autistic, angry men. They had to learn social savviness by rote memorization, so they occasionally hit on a really good gem. In this case, it's an old one about some girl making a duck face, making fun of a guy for Instagram clout. Everybody's getting all mad, and this guy comes in with this gem. The whole reason she took that pic is because she thought that because that silly face was gonna make her look cute. But she can't just post some random pic of her making that face because it would be weird. So she looks around and tries to find something weird going on that would be a good excuse to make that face. Maybe I can use the way he's standing as an excuse to take a pic of me making my sexy cute face. He was just a prop, and she could use him to further her own pursuits. His feelings, or even the way he was acting, didn't come into the equation at all. So when a girl tweets about some 6'5" guy that she's thinking about, it's not about the billions of guys who aren't 6'5" that might get upset. She's thinking about that one guy in her class and what she can do to get him to notice her. When you start to take people's feelings out of the equation, only think inwardly, it becomes very easy to understand. Basically, when she posted the pic, the only thing she was going through her mind was, I hope people think this face makes me look cute. And so there you have it. Nobody cares about you, your stupid feelings, or whether you get hurt or not. I know a lot of guys out there think women are the enemy, and they hate men, but I am here to set you straight. It's solipsism, bro. They just don't care. You were just in the way. Sorry, not sorry. Now don't get mad about it. I mean, get mad about it if you have to, but then get over it. And now that you know the rules, start playing the game, kind of like this guy.
So I had a date on Saturday with a 6'5" lawyer. 7 o'clock, meet him at a bar, have a nice time, have a couple of beverages, have some laughs. I have verbal diarrhea. And he says to me at 8:30, hour and a half into the date, I went on a hike earlier today and I'm tired. I think I need to call it a night. And I went, como say what? Fast forward to a few nights later where he is texting me, asking me what I'm up to. It's like 8 o'clock at night, so I tell him I'm in bed. I'm old, eating mango. And then he makes a sexual comment about coming over to eat mango in my bed. Fast forward to the next day where he texts me a beautiful photo of the sun rising and says, good morning. And I respond, good morning, and go about my day. I then send him a photo later that day of what I'm cooking based on like a conversation we had. No response. Fast forward to 9 a.m. the next day. Hey, so I really enjoyed our date and exchanges, but I'm just not sure the spark is there. I think you're gorgeous and hilarious. It's true. And brilliant, and I wish you nothing but the best. Take care and be well. What?
I had a video on this channel about a year ago. Dinner dates are for losers. And this guy, he knows that rule like the back of his hand. I guarantee whatever lawyer Chad we got here has been on a few dates, had a few notches. He knows the game. He went out for a few drinks, because overcommitting on a first date is how you get put on blast to a few million followers. I don't know what happened on the date. I don't care what happened on the date. What's important on the date is that she did something that crossed some line with him. Novel, eh? Holding a woman around you to a standard. Now, compare that to the first guy. She knows she's an arrogant and selfish prick, and she admits it through half of her videos. I imagine being that first guy, assuming that she's the one, or some other great catch. She doesn't know much about him, except for he's either stupid or a liar. She doesn't think too well of herself. So if he does, then that must mean because he's not to be trusted. But that Chad, though? That one hurts. She was hopeful that he'd do some simp stuff so she can post about it and feel good about herself. Shutting down guys publicly is like crack. It's a flex for chicks. Look at this guy who wants me. Watch me put him on blast. I'm sure that you've seen the typical Twitter alpha male who talks about how he only sleeps with 9s and 10s, brah. Well, this girl is the girl version of that. I only shut down 8s or 9s, brah. Except, this guy, he's not stupid. The last thing you want is to be honest with a woman when you're rejecting her. If you don't believe me, go watch the first few minutes of this video and get back to me. Throw some compliments, do it soft, and make sure, if you do nothing else, make sure you give it a narrative that says in clear, ambiguous terms, this is not your fault, you're a good person. Now, you don't have to do it, but if you're not doing it, don't be surprised when some crazy chick does what crazy chicks do and acts crazy to you where it hurts. Again, if you don't believe me, go down to the list of false Me Too accusations and check out how many of them were chicks who got rejected all mean-like.
Fast forward to 9 a.m. the next day. Hey, so I really enjoyed our date and exchanges, but I'm just not sure the spark is there. I think you're gorgeous and hilarious. It's true. And brilliant, and I wish you nothing but the best. Take care and be well. What?
This last part made me laugh too. Like, this guy knows the game. He doesn't like her, but she's still hot enough. And so he throws out a test text, and we'll see. She's all confused. I thought he didn't like me. But we know he doesn't. She knows he doesn't. He knows he doesn't. You know he doesn't. And I know he doesn't. Everybody knows. But that's just the game. He threw out a one-time offer to come over and smash. Because, maybe. It's just like an orbiter. Come on over, we're just friends, but maybe if you play your cards right. So that quote from Rollo Tomasi? And if you don't know who I'm talking about, I'll explain. Women would rather share a high-value man than be saddled with a loyal loser. In this case, those texts are how it happens. Now, it didn't happen in this example, unless she's lying, and I'm sure she isn't, because nobody lies on the internet, but that's okay. Nothing's a guarantee. People aren't robots, but I will say this. I can guarantee he's had enough women take that bait that he always throws it out after meeting a psycho, just in case. You don't always catch the big fish, but when you do...
It's my engagement ring. Hear me out. From a very, very long time ago. And while I was moving, I didn't want it to have and then I got fat fingers and it won't come off. I had a huge crush on him in college. We were together, I think it was 8 years, married for 5. He was an engineer. He brought math books on our honeymoon. We were just very, very different. We would get into horrible fights. I've never fought with anyone like I fought with him. Where he would call me fat.
Yo, weight loss check.
I was bullied a lot growing up. My dad was in the Navy. We moved around. The girls were so mean to me. They had a club devoted to hating me. But I think we've both grown from that experience. He is remarried. He's got a beautiful wife and beautiful kids, and couldn't be happier for him.
And so how did we get here? And this is the funny part. I have zero sympathy for this girl. But I understand. She had it all. A husband who loved her for who she was, and he wanted her to be better. She calls him mean, but don't forget, this is an 8-year relationship, a 5-year marriage, and like 3 examples of the times he was mean. This isn't truth. This is a story that she wants you to know to paint a picture. It's funny how that works, isn't it? The story makes her look good, him look bad, she's the victim. I don't know how long they've been broken up for, but she's still wearing that ring. Does Does that strike you as somebody who's over it and moved on with their life? Then you gotta ask yourself what even happened. Now, this next part, granted, bit of a stretch, but I'll bet I'm closer to the truth than she is.
Yo, weight loss check.
Retro, nerd, engineer, good job, great man, probably nice and kind, socially awkward, and a few insensitive comments. I don't know whether any of this is true or not, but it's a good story, so in the theme of this lady putting people on blast for TikTok clout, this is what matters. Fat girl in high school. Everybody bullied her, except for this one boy who saw her inner beauty. She did the American thing, where she was fat, and he did the American thing for loving her for who she was. He got a bit resentful when he was giving it all with that traditional man crap, and she continued to eat. Some girls lose weight after the divorce. Some girls lose weight 6 months before the divorce. I'm guessing she lost it just before. And now that she's caught in that trap that most women get caught in, we get this. She wants the perfect man and won't settle for less. The perfect man wants the girl younger than her, but is more than happy to practice on her. The man who's perfect for her, she doesn't want. And you get idiots thinking this is some kind of conscious sabotage, and I'm here to say it's not. It's not. It's not. Remember, she's just that same little fat girl in that new thin girl's body. She's got insecurities just like the rest of us. She's built up a layer of some of the prickliest and meanest behaviors to protect it, but it's all feelings. The heart wants what the heart wants. And the heart doesn't know anything but that 6'5" lawyer who made her tingle, and the other dude who didn't. You gotta ask yourself, how does a girl fix this? Well, I don't know. I'm not Oprah, and I wasn't put on this earth to tell women how to find a man. I'm here for guys like you. I'm here for guys like me. What do we do about it? Well, first thing, stop over-investing in these girls. Some, downright vicious. Remember that Jumbotron rule. Remember that your feelings are yours. She doesn't care, nor should she. You saw 2 guys here. Big on their feelings, put on blast. The one guy who didn't became the one that got away. So be the guy that got away. Don't be the guy who gets a girl a few thousand followers on fucking Instagram. Also, don't think that you can find a girl who's a little rough around the edges. A few extra pounds won't keep them loyal. Neither will relying on you to put them through college. So when that girl graduates from law school or loses that weight, it's probably going to be as if you never existed. There's no magic pill that keeps chicks loyal. There's only you having your act together and holding girls to standard. Chad date number 2, I guarantee, would have her acting better if he wanted to. And that wanting, that's abundance. That's having options.
I don't understand things. You know, because I'm not very smart.
What do I bring to the table? Excellent question.
That was not an answer. But let's just say that it was. I know she's joking, but the problem is she's not joking. People who are afraid to speak the truth often say things as a joke. And then when they get caught up, they say, oh, I was joking. No. Do you know what the table is? Oh, and go read the comments.
Oh my God. Yes. Please go have all 9 of your followers go comment on my video. I could really use the views.
Finally, remember the laws of power, bro. Good book, by the way. Robert Greene, good lesson here. All of these idiots online trying to appeal to her mercy, remember Law 13. When you're asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy, never to their gratitude. In this case, a lot of people are asking this girl who's getting viral off of this poor bastard to please be a good person. Yeah, if you act like this, you deserve what you get, man. Girls will kick you when you're down. So stop being down and stop talking about being down. They don't give loans to poor people. They don't give designer clothes to non-famous people. And they don't give out sympathy to idiots leaving 10 voicemails promising they're a good person.